Hello, mayors. How are you all doing? I hope so. We're here to start another episode of Barbosan Island, our vanilla island. We're already starting here with this helicopter ride. You and the mayor checking out our mines that were built in the last episode. They turned out really cool. And now also our industrial area, and we're getting closer to the Asian island, flying over our bridge here. I ask that if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and help out the channel. Leave a like here at the beginning of the video, alright? It's really important for engagement. And let's take a walk here, enjoying downtown while we focus on wrapping up this Asian island once and for all and moving on to the next one. Alright, that said, let's go, right? We think we're already reaching the limit of this Asian island here because it's getting really crowded, and I don't think it could handle much more traffic or many more people. Well, and speaking of the mine, look, I put some little stones here to make it look better, right? And I think they were a really nice addition. It gave it a cherry on top, a final touch that really enhanced the landscaping here. What do you guys think? Leave your comments so I can know your opinion. Well, and moving a little away from the mine, like I said, I want to finish this island here. I'm going to start on this coast because we have this coastline here to work on, and then I'll move on to this one, okay? So we can get a good head start. These blocks here are still empty because I'm waiting for the commercial demand, which hasn't come yet. But nothing stops us from doing the landscaping here in this area. Well, I'm going to select the Terraforming and Terrain Smoothing tool here. Set the strength here to 100% because my intention is to make it really smooth here, right? So we can make the most of this slope here as a beach, right? So it can really be a beach suitable for swimming, right? Without that sudden drop. Because sometimes there are beaches with a steep drop where you take 2 steps and the water's already up to your neck. And here, the smoother I make it, the less we'll have this problem, right? Alright, I think it's great here. Especially if we look here, the slope is really gentle. Well, this part here, right? We have some offices. And besides the offices, we also have a bike lane. Anyway, it's a nice place here for the people who come to work. I didn't want to put houses here precisely because we have this highway passing right over people's heads, you know? It probably wouldn't be very pleasant to live here. So I started placing the houses from the street over here. Since this is an office area, we could try to put a tourist attraction here at this end of the beach. I think it would be very welcome. And hey, we could put a monument here, right? I was taking a look here, and we haven't placed any tourist attractions yet. That's because we haven't unlocked them yet. But that's okay. We can come here and unlock them. Actually, the last part missing here is parks and recreation. Let's see, right? If there's any monument here that would look nice. Observation tower. Man, observation tower is cool. But in this part of the city, I don't think it would fit very well. Chinese gate, that's nice, right? There's a big one here for the avenue. There's a temple. Water park. Here I could place one of these lighthouses. I think it would match here, right? No, right, because it's not out in the sea either. A Ferris wheel. It would look cool, huh? I think it would be nice. What do you guys think? Well, I put it here. And let's take a look. I think it could work, right? Because it gives a view of downtown, right? If I put it too close here, we end up with a view that's too close to the buildings. A little further away, we get a decent skyline view. And since there aren't any houses here, it won't bother the residents either. Then we could make some kind of boardwalk around here. Man, the bad thing about working without mods when doing this is that the street goes up here, right? So it ends up being much higher than the amusement park here with the Ferris wheel. I don't know what that's for, but we can get around it by grabbing the terrain leveling brush and pulling a bit of the land here, right? Bringing up the land from under the water and filling in here where we're going to build this boardwalk, okay? Now it's working. Now it comes up. Then we bring it up to here. Then finish the block here. On this side, we can put a key wall going all the way around here. And then pull back the land we reclaimed. Okay, I think that's it for now. In this part here, we can put a parking lot. It won't be very big, right? But maybe it'll help. It'll help the people who are coming here, right? To see the attraction anyway. Anyone who wants to come by bike will also be accommodated. I'm going to put some bike parking here. I'm going to disable this road snapping so I can place it closer here, see? And it'll look nicer, okay? Yeah, but the game still isn't recognizing it. Oh, it's because the entrance is on the other side. I have to rotate Barboza cities. There we go, all right. Now it's working. I'll fill in around here with some vegetation, some little rocks too. Man, there are some thunderstorms here at my place. It's thundering, right? And I'm afraid the power might go out, right? Because I live in São Paulo and we have Anel here, right? Shout out. Hey, Anel. I lost the recording, all my progress, everything. Autosave is on, but I still save sometimes. The issue is losing the recording. Look at that. So, what do you think? It came out nice, right? I thought it turned out well. We can set a boundary here on the beach. On this other side here, could we put something too? Maybe? Recently, right? Iceflake added this here, look, Iceflake Arena. And it's a stadium, right? It would be a stadium right by the seaside here on the reclaimed land. Should I really do this, man? Well, I went ahead and placed it here. I think it actually looks pretty good with the skyline, you know? I think it added something to the skyline, right? It really did. I'm going to try to do the land reclamation here properly, too. Look, pulling it from the street, right? Diagonally like this. Up to about here, more or less. Just so I have an idea of how far to fill in here, right? Fill in up to about here, and over here too, see? So I don't create that ramp the game usually makes. And look, I already managed to make the outline with the street here. Here, man, I don't intend to create a new intersection right next to this one, okay? What I'm actually going to try to do here is to create an exit off this corner here, right? From our gastronomic complex. Something like this. There we go, look. And I'll make it just one lane. I don't think it even needs to be two, okay? Because the idea here is to turn this into a parking lot, right? For the stadium next door, right here, right next to it. The ferry also passes by. We've reached winter, new season here in Barbacini, and people are already starting to walk around here in this stadium, you see? Let's see if I can put the parking lot in around here. I put one here. There's no actual parking lot, right? No parking lot. I'm going to put some on-street parking here, mix it with some one-way sections too. I think this one, no, I was going to move it over here, but never mind. I'll put this parking lot here, okay? Plenty of parking. I'll leave an underground bike parking here too, look. And this triangle here I'll leave to make a plaza, okay? Here I'll put some vegetation, because I need it, right? Alright, here I'll try to design the plaza too, leaving some spaces here for vegetation. There we go. Looks nice, right? But I think it was missing a big tree right here in the middle. Now, how am I going to do that? I have to improvise here. Look, draw a square here in the middle of the texture. The soil will thank us for it. Let's put this one here, which is really big. Nice. Here's a little square too, between the parking lots there. Man, it's snowing. It's 5 degrees, and look, it's snowing, man. The ground is covered in snow. I've never seen this here in... Oh, okay. It's that. Okay. I just remembered why I had activated that weather control mod, right? Exactly because of this. Because it's not snowing, it's raining, the snow hasn't even reached here, and look at how the texture looks, right? All snowy. Here, look, the farms, how they look, okay? Here, the intersections, all white. And man, it doesn't make sense, right? It was something that Stice Flake Studios messed with, and they haven't fixed it until now. To me, it's bugged. It doesn't make sense for it to be this way. Okay, I came back here with the mod to control the theme, right? Even though it's a vanilla series, it's just a visual mod, right? After all, it's a series on YouTube, and it needs to be visually attractive and pleasant for you guys, right? Anyway, let's continue our build here, right? It's much better now, isn't it? Looking at it like this, right? With the snow texture issue fixed. And, man, I'm going to populate this place now. I was saving this space here for commercial use, but it's not working out. So I'm going to populate these blocks now. That way we can have a nice area around the stadium, right? Cool. Here, this block could be turned into a plaza too, right? It even has the shape of a plaza already. And I'm going to follow the same style here, see? Leave a little space for grass. I put in a fountain, the trees. Now I'm gonna put some food stalls here. There's a lot of street food, along with some tables here, see? Alright, I think it turned out pretty nice here, right? This little plaza here. Look, it's already grown, hasn't it? The subdivision I placed. So we can already start filling in the space that the game doesn't complete, right? It gets empty here, see? All right, look, that's how it turned out, right? It's good, right? Better than all that empty space. And our little plaza here in the middle. Here, we can make a plaza too, including a path, a shortcut right here. It'll also get texture and vegetation. And this time, right in the middle, it's going to get a bandstand, right? Then we fill in this part here too. Well, and now, right? We're missing the beach, which is the whole point of this episode. Finish it once and for all, at least the central part. Look, over here, right? Then we'll already have this part here left unfinished. Well, here, I'm not sure if I should bring the sand all the way up to the boardwalk, or if I should leave a strip here with some coastal vegetation, right? The fact is, it'll be really interesting for us to have bike racks here, okay? There's this small one. There's a big one. I think the big one is kind of overkill. Here in the corner, it's not much, right? Put one here. I think we can move this other one more to the center of the beach. We also already have several here, okay? So, several bike racks that we have here. Available for everyone. Here too, look, in the middle of the boardwalks, right? Between one pole and another. You can put some bike racks here, see? It doesn't cost anything for the people. Stop using the car and giving me a headache with traffic, right? Also, on the waterfront, it's interesting to put those outdoor gyms here, right? Put one here in this corner. Another one here in this other corner. These little plazas here are narrow. They also do a great job here of making the waterfront more pleasant, right? I'll put a mix. Look, this one with this one. Look, it fits perfectly, and then it looks like this. Look, we get these benches with the shade from the trees. And we also get, look, some benches with a more landscaped shade here. I think in this little corner here, we could put a court, right? So people can play some sports. Let's put a small basketball court here, add a few more little trees here, just to make it a little denser with vegetation here, right? Not too much either, because there are already trees here, right? So I'm adding more where there aren't any yet. Here, see? This vegetation turned out really nice. And now let's finish with sand. Let's choose the sand surface here. That worked out pretty well. You don't even need to go all the way to the boardwalk, right? Just leave this grass and close off this texture here, see? On this wall, right? And here it can come in quite a bit. At least up to here, I think. And finish it off on the other side, right? With the strip of sand. Here, look. Awesome. Let's see how it's going to look, see? Ah, it looks nice. I can already see it, look. It actually turned out really nice. Do we have a sand 2 texture here? Do you think it adds a nice effect? Like a path up to the strip of sand? Like this, see? Do you think it looks good? Ah, it actually does. It actually looks good like this. I'm gonna do it. So we can stay here, right? Also with some paths, right? Up to the sand, even though people don't walk, right? That's the thing about the beaches here, man. I complain about that, you know? We really needed a beach DLC in this game. And this isn't new. It's not just a Cities Skylines 2 issue either. It's been that way since the first one. Let's put some playgrounds here too, look, for the kids to play. The cool thing is that even with all the limitations, we've managed to make some really different beaches here, right? This could be used to simulate those lifeguard huts, right? I'll put them here, look. And then I'd have to put one on the other one too. Let me put one here, look, see? This one already looks different. It's already different from that one, right? We've been mixing things up a lot, even with the limitations. The annoying part is putting this here, look. But it has to be there, right? At least to give some life to this beach, man. See? Then we got here, look. Put a little table, right? Aren't there those little beach tables? So people can put their cooler, their beer. And of course, you can't forget this here, look. The beach umbrella. Well, that's good too, right? That's enough. Our stretch of sand is already pretty full here. We're just missing people, right? That's not gonna happen, especially in vanilla. So what did you think of the beach? Over here, look, Ferris wheel, right? And on the other side over there, our stadium, right? It turned out really cool. It looks really nice here. I really like these Californian buildings here. I'm glad I placed them here a few episodes ago because they really match the waterfront, right? With the beach. Ah, guys, at least on the boardwalk here on the beach street, people are walking. And, well, we have a bus line. There's a lot of bike lanes, right? There's a place for people to park their bikes. And obviously, we have to take a walk, right? I'm gonna go from here to there, right? Let's see how our Ferris wheel is doing first. Look, people are already getting on. There's a park here in front of the Ferris wheel, right? If there's one thing people in this city, on the island in general, can't complain about, it's parks, man. Because there are a lot of parks. Really a lot. There aren't those huge parks, right? But at least there are several small parks spread around. Look at this view, man. That skyline right there. Over there. Let's keep going. People are passing through here. And here we can already see how it is on the sidewalk. There are several options for benches for people to sit, right? Sometimes people don't want to go over there on the sand. They just sit right here. Lots of benches. There are already people living here. Every time I put these playgrounds here, people come to live in the park anyway. It's a detail. I think the game exaggerates a bit on this point. But look, there are already residential buildings over there. If we go in here, look, there are bike racks here. If you don't want to go to the sand, you can stay here on this strip of grass. Maybe, I don't know, have a picnic, right? Just lay out a towel here. Bring a snack, right? A beer, anyway. And here's the sand, look, with our Californian buildings here, right? On the hillside. And the stadium down there, man. Look at this magnificent view, right? Over here we have the downtown skyscrapers. I want to go over there to the stadium so we can also see its surroundings. Here are the parking lots, right? I added a lot of parking here for this stadium. And here is its entrance, the cool thing, right? I didn't show you guys. Up here, there's an upper deck. Like a restaurant, man. I'll show it to you in a bit. Here is the street that goes around. And here is the other side, look, of the stadium, right? Already with a view of downtown. Right next to it, we have our dining district, right? So before the match, before the game, you can come here too. And enjoy some good food, right? Here's the canal, right? Which separates the dining district. Really cool, man. Over there too, right? The front part of the stadium. Some houses around here. Awesome. And here's the upper deck, right? It's not a restaurant, right? It's kind of like a fun track, right? But it has a view of the sea. There's a view of the beach. There's a view of the Ferris wheel. This view must look really nice at night, right? Speaking of which, I don't think I've shown you this island at night yet, right? Do you want to see it? You probably answered yes in your mind, right? I'll show it here at night. Check it out. This is how our island looks at night here in the stadium area, right? Here, look. The view I said would look nice at night. It really does, right? There could be more lights on the Ferris wheel. But here, look. We have our waterfront that we just walked along, right? And look at how downtown looks. Man, what a beautiful view, huh? It's really beautiful, actually. Here's the center of the island. Here's our big avenue, right? That cuts through the suburbs. And up ahead, it splits, right, into two. There's always a traffic jam here because it's a good spot to stop. And then the rest of the people don't know how to use the other lanes, right? But then if the mayor comes and removes a lane, right? Since you're only using one, I'll take away the other two. Then people complain, right? But anyway, look at how it is here. Our city at night, right? Over here too. We have the continuation of the big avenue. Here, a bit further, look. Our central park here in the Japanese district. And over here, the bad thing is when we zoom out, right? The buildings go dark. So to get a nice view, look, you have to be really close, right? And over here, right? The station. Anyway, I think the game looks nice at night. It could be even nicer, right? But you can't play with it turned on, man. You really can't. It gets pretty bad. Here, right? Our historic city, our historic village. It also looks really good at night, look. See, it looks really cool. Over here too, look. I really like this park here, look. From this view, I think it matches perfectly. Here we also have a view. I have a view that I really like, that I think is really beautiful. Very touristy, right? This part of the historic village, right? Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up, okay? The episode ends here. I hope you guys enjoyed our new recreational addition to the city. But before that, I think I'm going to take this stadium here, look, and I'm going to place its front facing the sea, okay? With a sign here, look, facing the sea, right? I think it looks better than having it on this other side, kind of hidden. The downside is that we lose this deck here, right? With a view of the sea. But that's okay. I think like this, look, it makes for a nicer view, right? With the stadium's name facing forward. So, with a special shout out to Giovanni Freitas, Jose Fernando, Nagal, and Pedro Mendez. I want to say goodbye to you all here at the end of this episode, okay? Thank you so much for being a vice mayor. You whose name is showing up right now, you are amazing. And you are watching the video in advance as a way of saying thank you. Many thanks to the council members who are the foundation and pillar of this channel, okay? Without you, none of this would be possible. Thank you so much to those of you who aren't members but are subscribed. Give a like at the very beginning of the video. Leave your opinions and impressions in the comments. You're also amazing, and you have a little place in my heart. All right? We're in this together always. A big hug. And with this wonderful view, I'm saying goodbye to you all. See you.